Hello and welcome to Inside Homebrewing. I'm Jay Thomas. And this is a pre-prohibition lager. It's been bottled now 3-4 weeks. It's definitely a rebrew. It's a good beer. It was pretty simple. It was 6-row Pilsner malt, or 6-row malt, a little bit of Carahel, and 2 pounds of rice syrup solids, along with cluster hops, and the imperial yeast. I think it was L28 or something like that. It was the Urquell yeast. But anyway, oh, it smells delightful. This beer came out real good. Anyway, today's project is a little oddball one. You know, you hear of a lot of people, homebrewers, are brewing beers with like Cocoa Pebbles. Yahoo, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Pebbles. Or Yahoo, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, Cocoa Pebbles, Fruity Pebbles. You know, just all kinds of different cereals. Then lately I've had bacon beer. You know, some brewers brewing up, commercial brewers making bacon beers. I've heard of people homebrewing bacon beers. I don't know exactly how it's done. I've also heard of, you know, we have oyster stout that's been around for a long time. And I got the idea for this beer from somebody made a comment on a Facebook page. Somebody was asking about putting Fruity Pebbles or something into one of their beers. And somebody replied, well, you could put a ham sandwich in there if you wanted to. Well, that got me thinking, ham and a beer. Smoked ham and a beer. That might be good. A slightly smoky beer. Why not? Why not try it? You know, there was a brewery in Denver here that put it's a Rocky Mountain oyster stout. Rocky Mountain oysters, the actual bull testicles in their beer. And I came up with the idea. Oktoberfest. Ham Hock-Toberfest. That's what I'm brewing today. Got all the ingredients right here. It's kind of an Americanized version of a Oktoberfest because I have some Victory malt in there. But anyway, it's 5 pounds German Pilsner malt, 1 pound of Munich malt, and then a ½ pound of Victory malt, and also a ¼ pound of Carahel. I got my hops all weighed out. The grains are all in the bag here. I got the hops weighed out. It's 1.5 ounces of, for the full boil, 1.5 ounces of German Hallertau hops, and 1/2 ounce for the last 10 minutes of boil was another ½ ounce of the German Hallertau. But the kicker is, yesterday I smoked up some ham hocks. So I got ham hocks right here. Got 3 of them. Anyway, I home smoked those. I got a little clip showing you what I did on there. But I home smoked that, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat up the strike water with the ham hocks in it, so there's not a big temperature change with the, a couple pounds of meat, couple pounds of meat going in my beer. So I'm going to heat up the strike water with the ham hocks right inside, and then dough in. It's going to be a two infusion mash schedule. I'm going to dough in 10.5 quarts of water at 157 degrees, looking for about 146 degrees for 25 minutes. Then we're going to put 2.5 quarts, about 2 quarts of boiling water, add that to it. We're going to raise the temperature to about 156 degrees. I'm going to leave it sit for a full 90 more minutes after that, so that will let this meat kind of cook in there and release all the flavors into my beer. I'm only doing 3 gallons because, we got meat in our beer. It might not be so good. But anyway, we'll find out. We've got the ham hocks ready. Got everything's all ready to rock. Heating up the strike water right now. I'm gonna put these in there and go from there. It should be quite the journey. So I've got the ham hocks here. They are hickory smoked. I'm gonna give them an extra dose of smoke. still bone in just your regular ham hocks. Put them in the smoker. It says they're hickory smoked, but I got some alder chips I want to get rid of. We're going to give them an extra dose of smoke. Then they're going to go into the mash tun. We're going to mash it out at I don't know, maybe 2 hours, just to get all that flavor from the ham and from the smoke into the beer. We'll see what happens. Give it a shot here. I'll show you how my smoker works. So on this big cheap smoker, just take this, put this on a rack. And the meat just goes right inside the smoker. That's down inside there. Then you take these pans of wood chips. Like I said, this is the alder. That goes right inside. There's a heating element underneath there. So that heats up the wood chips. I'm probably going to use 3 pans. Get that covered up. And plug it in and we're good to go. So that's been smoking now for a few hours. Oh, that looks good. Oh yeah. Get those inside and see what we got. So I wanted to dough in at 157 degrees. We're a little warmer than that. I just shut the heat off. It's about 160. So got that running in there. That's about done now. But whoops, there we go. Put this other one in there. There we go. Okay. Put that last ham hock in there. Oh boy. So I got all the strike water dumped in there. Get this stirred around. Make sure there's no clumps in there. It's a 1.5 to 1 ratio, 1.5 quarts of water per pound of grain in there. I don't account for anything with the ham. Take a temperature reading. I wanted it at about 146 degrees. Let's see what we got going on here. 147 degrees. That works for me. Let's just cover that up so we're not heating up that big dead air space. And set the timer for 25 minutes. So I got the next edition is boiling. The alarm went off, so time to heat this up. It says to add 2 quarts. There you go. So I'm just going to add until we're at the proper temperature. I boiled up 1 gallon. Yeah, there we go. After it's all stirred in there, we're good. Oh God. Yeah, that's looking good. 155, 155 degrees. That's close enough for me. So I'm going to just cover this up. There we go. We'll give that 90 minutes. And go from there. So I have all the wort drained into the brew kettle. Looking good so far. Smells real good. And I put in the sparge water back in here. It's ham. Another one down here. They're all still in there. Once that's finished running, I'm just going to let it sit in there for a little while and then run it out into the brew kettle. So the sparge is running through there. Interesting smell. It's kind of like a malt, you know, like a normal beer malt would smell. Beer wort, hot beer wort would smell, but it also slightly hammy, slight ham, slight smoke smell to it also. Oh yeah. See what we got going on in there. Just draining out nicely. See some ham sticking up. Some hocks sticking up. Nice layer of protein on top, it looks like. Could be some of the fat. Hopefully it caught some of the fat. Probably won't really know until it cools off enough when all is said and done. And the fat should be floating on top. That's my best guess. I have no idea. Ah, it smells good though. We're liking this. It's running out of here pretty clear. Let that finish up, see what we have for volume, and start the boil. Add more water if I need to. It should be fine though. Ham Hock-Toberfest. Yeah. So the volume looks good. I don't know if this will come through on the video or not, but it looks like soup, how the oils will float. Little balls of oil floating on top of the soup. That's what I got going on here. This could be a big, big mistake, but we're going with it. It's a done deal here. I have just over 4 gallons. About right where it should be. So I'll get that on the stove and start the boil here in a few minutes. So it just started to boil. Smelling really good. Add the first edition of hops, 1.5 ounces of German Hallertau. I think it's 4.1 alpha. Get those in there. And set the timer. Here we go. Ham Hock-Toberfest. So I just took the pre-boil gravity reading. It's 2 points higher than what the brewer's friends said it should be according to my efficiency. So that's a good thing. Smells like beer. Very light, little sweetness. Back end has very, very, very slight of smokiness. Maybe next time, well, it's not a done deal yet, but maybe next time I'll boil the ham hocks after after mashing them in. So maybe a boiled ham hock will get more of that ham smokiness flavor. I don't know. So far, it tastes pretty good. I like it. We'll see what happens. So the alarm just went off. Had the Whirl Flack and Nutrient, along with the last half ounce of hops. So it's a done deal. It's I got it running through the wort chiller now into the Spidell. Take a gravity reading. I checked the temperature. It's at about 65 degrees. I don't know if it's worth adjusting for 68 degrees. But we'll see what we say here. 1.0. Hard to say. 1.05. 1.058. It's like a 1.058. I'll double check and make sure. So it looks set to be a 1.058. We'll see what the tilt hydrometer says. That's awesome. Not enough smoke. Not enough ham, not enough smoke. Next time we're boiling the ham. Maybe. We'll see what happens after it ferments. So that's all in there. I ended up with 3.5 gallons, more than what I wanted to make. But anyway, it worked out real good because it ended up being a 80% efficiency. I normally base my recipes on a 72% efficiency, so that's real good. I don't know what factored in to get that extra efficiency. Who knows? But could have been the longer mash time because it sat for 90 minutes plus the 25 minutes. So yeah, almost 2 hours. So we'll see what happens. I got it oxygenating right now. I'll take a temperature reading, make sure it's safe to pitch the yeast, and go from there. Put the tilt hydrometer in there. All right. Get the lid tightened up and we're good to go. So I got that all put away. That's a done deal. Got the thermometer probe in there. It's set at 53 degrees. It's at 67.3 degrees right now. It's the freezer's cranked on, and it's going to cool off and shut off by itself. There's another beer we got going on. Life is good. Hopefully this seal up here makes a good seal. I think it should be fine, but we'll check it out tomorrow morning. So it's been 1 week. The yeast just ripped right through that. I love that imperial yeast. But anyway, it shows gravity's down at 1.012. It's been bouncing between 1.012 and 1.010. I just put a different airlock on it, moved it down, and I'm going to drop the temperature back down to 50 degrees. But I don't know if you can see in there. Oh, here we go. It's fat float. It's got fat floating around in there. So when I go to transfer it, I'm going to have to siphon between the fat and the trobe and yeast that's stuck on the bottom. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to purge that out with some CO2 now. And then I'm going to put a little ferment lock on there with a balloon full of CO2 so it doesn't, as the temperature drops back down, I got it at 67 degrees now. So as the temperature drops back down, so it's not sucking air into it. So I'll get that done right now. So what I do is just take a balloon and fill it with CO2. Not real full. And then just put it over the top of the airlock. There we go. Once the pressure is equalized, see, now it's pushing air, CO2 back out of the solution, back up to the balloon. So now when it cools off, it's got a little bit of pressure in here, so it'll cool off and it'll just draw maybe a little bit of air out of that balloon. That's the theory. I don't get any, that way at least I don't get any air, actual air drawn back in there. It's just CO2, so it's not going to oxidize the beer at all. Usually that works pretty well. So we're just going to leave that here now for about another week or so, and I'll transfer it to secondary off the off the fat and the yeast. All right, so it's been 2 weeks now that the Hock-Toberfest has been fermenting. It went pretty quick for the temperature we had it set at. And then I brought it up to a 68 degrees. Took 2 days to get it up. I slowly brought it up to 68 degrees. Gave it a de-rest for 3 days. And now it's ready to transfer. We'll take a gravity reading. Get ready here. We'll take a gravity reading and get it transferred into here. I purged the oxygen out of there, or the air out of there, with CO2. So we're all good to go, and I'm going to be pushing it through here out of the Spidell fermenter into here with CO2 also. Try not to oxygenate the beer. We'll see what happens. When I did the de-rest, I took a peek inside of there, and everything looked good. There was some fat floating on top. We'll see what happens. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm just going to drain it down, leaving the fat on top as much as possible. And I'm putting it into the clear carboy as secondary, so I'll be able to see. And then when it comes time to bottle it, I'll be able to see what I'm doing and not suck that fat up into the bottling bucket. So we'll go from there. Got this all cleaned up, ready to rock. I'm going to take a sample for a gravity reading right now and get it transferred. It's a nice color. Let's slow this down a little bit. You see what I got going on here? I got this the CO2 tank at like 1 or maybe 1.5, 2 pounds. It's hard to say, but pushing the beer out through the Spidell. Kind of a nice light orange color, and right into the carboy. So this Ham Hock-Toberfest started out at a 1.058, I believe. See where we're at now. I don't know offhand what Brewer's Friends said it should end up at, but we'll see. Smells like beer. Don't smell like ham. That's looking good. It's at a can get this twisted around here. 1.0. 1.014. 1.014. And I'll take a taste. Never had a meat beer before. Maybe smells a little smoky. It's getting close to where we want it. It's pretty good. Could use some more hops. It's got a smokiness to it. Hamalicious. So far so good. I like it. Slightly smoky. We're about there. Okay, that's a done deal. So what I'm going to do now is I got that shut off. It's less than 3 gallons in there, so I'm going to make sure it's topped off with CO2 and put it away. And it's going to lager now for 6 weeks or so. And we'll take a peek inside there, see what that looks like. So there we go. I just, it was at about 50 degrees. So I just put that here. It's going to go down to, what do I got this set at? It's at 36 degrees. So we're going to lager it at 36 degrees. Got that balloon on there so it just sucks CO2 instead of air. I transferred a Schwartz beer earlier today. That's doing its thing. We're just going to shut this down and leave those beers lager. Leave that Ham Hock lager for, like I said, more than a month. I don't know how long. We'll see what develops on top of there. Hard to see in there now, but we'll see if there's any fat floating around. And right now I'm going to pop open the top. I'll pop open the top of the that Spidell fermenter and see what's floating around in top. Like I said, there was some, it looked like fat floating around in there when I peeked in it earlier a few days ago. We'll see what's up. Okay, we'll get this popped off here and see what we got going on as far as the fat. Oh, it's not so bad. Let's see if I can use my phone to as a flashlight. Yeah, there's some fat floating around in there. There's the tilt hydrometer. I did leave a bit behind. Normally I'd probably try to suck more of it out than that. It's a couple inches. But I don't want to suck up that fat. So get this cleaned up, pull the tilt hydrometer out of there, and use that here in a couple days on my next project. And the tilt hydrometer, every time you use it, it seems like it's got a wad of Kreuzen on top of it, so it tilts. Not true to what it should be. But anyway, the tilt does work for what I use it for. And that's to find out when it needs to have a de-rest on lagers. Alright, so everything's good so far. Tastes smoky, it doesn't taste weird. It tastes like beer. Like I said, it could use some more hops. We'll see what the final product is here in a couple months. So we're at 6 weeks now on the Hock-Toberfest. So what I'm going to do now, I needed to make room. I needed to make room in the ferment chamber, so I took a beer out. I took this beer out of the lagering chamber, put a beer in the ferment chamber, and I'm going to be brewing another batch of beer here in a couple days. So we got this one at Hock-Toberfest at 6 weeks. Good to go. It looks pretty good. You can see it does have. It looks pretty normal. I don't know if this will come through looking in there on the video, but it looks like there may be some little blotches of what could be oil in there. I don't know. I've seen that on other beers anyhow, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to siphon this off into the bottling bucket and proceed to bottle it from there, and we'll get a final gravity reading, and also we'll get a taste it, see what it's like. Oh, I was wondering what this was. This was the last bottle of my home smoked Vienna Smash. Anyway, I'll get this all transferred into the bottling bucket, and we'll be good to go. Get this siphoned over. That in there. Corn sugar in here. I don't remember what the final gravity was. I'll check that right now one more time. Oh, it's a beautiful color. Looks really nice. 1.014, we're going to call that. 1.014 is the final gravity. Oh, it smells good. Slightly smoky. Oh, that's a winner. Very interesting. Kind of a smoke flavor. A little bit of malt to it, a little bit of hops. Maybe could have used a little more hops to it. I like it the way it is though. A little maltiness, a little smokiness, nice balance. Meat, beer, meat. Meat, beer. I don't know for sure without running the numbers through, but it's right at around 6% alcohol. Almost done siphoning now. Get a look here. Hard to see down inside there what's going on. Looks fine here. Doesn't really have any oil floating around in it. I think we're good to go. We'll see. So I may have overestimated the total volume that I would have as far as my priming sugar goes. Hopefully I doesn't get overcarbonated, but I did leave, about 3 inches of beer in 2 or 3 inches of beer in that Spidell fermenter, just so I could leave the fat behind. Anyway, we got 22 bottles plus this. I'm going to keep sampling. Anyway, I'm going to get this capped up, put it away, and we'll be back in a couple weeks, see if we got some bottle bombs or what we got going on. Anyway, cheers. We'll see you in a few. So here's what's left. It was a half a bottle. It's pretty clear. It has a slight, very ever so slight haze to it. No big deal. But yeah. It's got that smoky smell. It's got some other, something else going on that isn't the malt. Meat. It's ham-alicious. All right, the ham Hock-Toberfest has been in the bottle now for about 3 weeks. I tried one out about a week ago, testing the carbonation level. I was worried it would be too carbonated. I overestimated how much priming sugar I would need on the volume. So, but anyway, came out okay. It's not over-carbonated. It's not a gusher. It's got a little bit of bubbles coming up here. I think we'll be okay. Maybe a little over-carbonated. Give it a gentle pour. Oh yeah, not bad. A little bit of a chill haze. I don't know how this will come through on the camera, but nice color. Kind of an amber orange. Smells good. Smells a little malty, a little smoky. It's not bad. Has a you get malt and smoke, plus something real strange. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it in a beer, you know, because it's the ham. It's got an off smell to it. The ham, I'm guessing, the ham hocks. Goes down pretty smooth. I like it. Yeah. I don't know if I'd brew it all the time, but it inspires me to try some other meats. Maybe I can do a what would it be, like a Bacon-Toberfest. That'd be good. I'm going to try, I've heard of different methods of adding bacon. We might give bacon a try sometime and go from there. But anyhow, you want to try something different? Throw some meat in your beer. Just leave the oils behind. You'll be fine on head retention. That's doing okay. It's nicely carbonated. It's not killing the head at all, having any oils. I siphoned away from all the oils. So anyway, yeah, throw some meat in your beer. You want to do something different? Yeah, ham hocks work. I'm gonna give bacon a try. You know, I've heard of that cock ale. I don't know about that, how that works with throwing an old chicken in the mash tun. But you know, the sky's the limit. You know, why should it just be Fruity Pebbles, Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Yeah, throw some meat in your beer. Anyway, remember, brew what you like what you brew. We'll see you next time, Inside Home Brewing.